An undersung anniversary, move fast and go broke, and what are the 3 E's? Welcome to the Unlimited Supply Podcast, your daily music business TLDR in your ear, powered by Interest Media replacing social media, and brought to you by No Desk, helping music technology and finance companies navigate the music industry, and partnered with Digital Music News. It's July 15th, 2026. I'm Lars Murray. It's Viral Wednesday, but before we go viral, a major anniversary passed yesterday without a lot of fanfare, but it's one that affects all of our lives on the daily. No, it's not Bastille Day, though that one probably affects us more than we all know. Actually, yesterday marked the 15th anniversary of Spotify's launch in the USA. A hat tip to old friend Steve Savoca, who was there at the time for marking the anniversary on his LinkedIn feed. Yep, that was the day that our lives changed, although a lot of people didn't experience it all in one day because it started out invite only, and if I recall correctly, those of us at the majors didn't even get our full allocations of invites until August, and Spotify didn't end the invite-only period until late September. And also, busy execs like myself didn't have unlimited supply whispering in their ear every day to mark the occasion. It's a little puzzling. There's mostly silence in the trades this week. You do have unlimited supply now to whisper in your ear. Variety marked the occasion back in April for some reason. It was interesting to take a shallow dive looking back into what people were saying at the time. Over at Media Research, Mark Mulligan noted that it could be a Pandora killer and that the incumbents at the time, like Rhapsody, RDO, and Mog, remember Mog? Should probably be nervous. Mark noted that Apple and Google probably didn't need to worry a whole lot, which is true in the big picture, but turned out to be a bit of an underestimation on the music streaming side. Old friend Glenn Peoples also got it right in the moment, and I suspect most people who already had access, like me, and were already power users, like me, through our partner or preview accounts, got it right too. There really isn't much to link to here, so I'll link to Steve's LinkedIn post. Our friends over at LyricFind this week decided to jump into the World Cup Mania pool with me. They ran a little lyric analysis on the connection between the World Cup and music. Marketing VP Alex Bellisimo shouted out the connection. The headline is that the word goal is the GOAT when it comes to soccer and music references, but the actual GOAT, Lionel Messi, is not the GOAT when it comes to player references. He's probably going to have to marinate for a few more decades to match the guy most referred to in songs. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You can check out the article and the infographic over at the Music Connection, link in the show notes. All right, let's get viral. Meta moved fast and broke things in a big way this week, with the emphasis on broke when it launched an AI image generation feature, Muse AI, on Instagram with no warning and with an automatic opt-in for all users, opening up all users to having their images pirated, altered, and otherwise AI desecrated by default and without their knowledge. I call it the 3 E's, the egregious execution of enshittification. It ended with a whimper and a metaphorical tail between the legs, as user outrage caused Meta to shut the feature down almost immediately. Lucas Ropek had the story over at TechCrunch. Unsurprisingly, the company issued the following lame-ass non-apology, quote, "We've heard the feedback that this feature missed the mark, so it's no longer available." Not even an oops, my bad. Probably because an admission or an apology might end up as an exhibit in yet another lawsuit against Meta, and there are a lot of those going on right now. Boy, in a slow news week, LinkedIn can be handy. Over on the networking platform, a user who I don't really know named Michael Hobbs posted a schoolyard chant celebrating the impending doom of Meta. The lyrics included, "This is the way Meta ends, repeated." The celebration is probably wishful thinking and maybe premature. Actually, all businesses eventually die or fade away. But Michael does base his little victory dance on a very real number. That number is 1.4 trillion. 1.4 trillion is the sum total of Meta's potential legal liabilities, which might seem a little exaggerated if it wasn't extracted from Meta's own investment documents. 1.4 trillion, or 1,400 queeners, as we say around here, is a pretty big number even for Meta, whose market cap as of this recording is a mere 1.68 trillion. Now, it's unlikely that those liabilities will come to pass. After all, Meta can't always settle and reduce them. But there is a real problem here, which is that Meta investments in AI infrastructure have it a little stretched right now, so it might have some issues finding that settlement cash in the sofa cushions until its AI products start to generate some real upside, which in turn may be a challenge for the reasons we outlined yesterday. American AI models are facing a lot of pricing pressure from Chinese AI models, all of which puts Meta on potentially shaky financial ground. Of course, it's important to remember that Meta is still an attention and advertising juggernaut, but as Twitter X demonstrated, those things can change rapidly when you do things like spring an unwanted and invasive AI product on your unsuspecting user base. This is probably also a good time to remind people that if you're not paying for the service, you are the product, and it's a problem if the product starts to fly the coop. There are elements of a downward spiral here, even though that spiral does not seem to have initiated yet. To be fair, Meta is unlikely to move fast and go broke, and credit to them, they've escaped pinches like this before. Nonetheless, you can join the comment debate at a link in the show notes. As for what is actually viral this week, over on TikTok, Drake's Shebang launched a trend in which a wine glass magically appears in the subject's hand. This got an extra boost from the superstar social gathering of Ice Spice, Lil Yachty, and Millie Bobby Brown, enacting it in a rather crude and underlit, but I guess authentically tipsy version. Over on Instagram, our viral for the olds this week is Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler, who passed away last week. Currently, it's #1 on Reels. It's launched a turnaround challenge with couple transitions, dance edits, and karaoke moments. On both platforms, well, goal may be the lyrical GOAT, but Die Die by Shakira and Burna Boy is still the dominant crossover sound on both platforms. Dance videos in team jerseys on Reels, plus a TikTok dance challenge tied to World Cup fan content. Also related to the World Cup, Haaland, Ha 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 by CTID, is a Manchester City chant adapted for the emergent global icon, the irresistible Erling Haaland of Norway. It's riding the World Cup wave with goal celebrations, football memes, and dance clips on both platforms, even after Erling and Norway crashed out of the cup. Freaked Out from Fat Poppy and Prod Sushi has launched a bob trend. That's women revealing a bob haircut or wig and the accompanying parodies from guys with mustaches and beards. Our viral correspondent Lydia Valentino is with us this week. What do you got, Lydia?
Hey Lars, #2 on US Shazam is Fresh Baby by M-Tiles, which is an upload of the currently unreleased track Dead Fresh by Lil Baby. On production and getting shouted out in the snippet is producer Pharrell Williams, riding out the goodwill from his work with Clips and T.I. in the past year. Given how Lil Baby's momentum stalled out after It's Only Me back in 2022, he really needed some kind of sonic pivot. And while Pharrell's beat isn't anything too out of the ordinary, the blocky snares defined pretty much all of his 2020s output, it strikes a nice middle balance.
Thank you, Lydia. You can check out Lydia's V30 playlist on YouTube. There's a link in the show notes. And that's another Viral Wednesday. Support for Unlimited Supply is provided by you, our listeners. Sign up for a full year of support and you'll get the full year's membership at a 20% discount. You'll also get the Unlimited Supply Merit Badge trucker hat. It's the ultimate accessory for the music industry insider. It's available at unlimitedsupplypod.com. If you like what you hear, go buy a hat or at least hit that follow button wherever you get your pods. I live for your praise and encouragement in person, but it helps a lot more if you drop us a rating and or a review on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or Spotify, and tell a friend or three. And actually, the best place to follow us is on Substack. Links are in the show notes, but you can also visit unlimitedsupplypod.com to sign up for our newsletter, to tell us what you think about the show, to suggest feature ideas, to feed us info, to feed us lunch, to call us out on our dubious assertions, and to tell us what we're missing out on. I'm Lars Murray, and remember, in this business, no conflict means no interest.